The teams are set, and we are ready to look at the Overwatch League playoffs. 8 of the 20 teams made it in. 3 of those were expansion teams, and the entire process was not without controversy. In our moment of the week, brought to you by Omen by HP, we welcome in Miss Emily Rand to talk about the Overwatch League playoffs. Emily, before we get to any conversation outside of how these teams got there, you know the teams that are in. Who's your favorite, and who's your dark horse?
So I think there are definitely 2 teams that everyone's looking at, and we're kind of salivating to see the matchup between the NYXL and the Vancouver Titans. We've mentioned this for weeks now, doing the Overwatch League power rankings, but we really want to see these 2 teams go up against each other because they are the top 2 teams. Now, I know this is going to be an incredibly unpopular opinion because Vancouver looks like the best team, but I'm actually going to go with NYXL here. And the reason is because I think they can be more flexible. Vancouver has proven to struggle a bit in this meta to swap off of certain compositions if they're going up against a DPS composition. They had a ton of trouble with the Chengdu Hunters, which admittedly are a very difficult team to prepare for, but they did seem to struggle with some of the DPS looks that the Hunters gave them. And I think that New York is really good at, even if they struggle on, say, a first point or their first attack or whatever, they go back in the break and they adjust and they come out and they're reinvigorated. They suddenly know what they want to do a lot more clearly. So I think they are very good at adjusting in the moment. But if you told me that either of these teams won stage playoffs, I would believe you because they're both incredibly strong teams.
Staying true to our power rankings there, Emily, who do you have as a dark horse, a team that could surprise?
I am actually looking at either the Toronto Defiant or the San Francisco Shock for similar reasons that I mentioned about how, Vancouver had struggles against the Chengdu Hunters and some of their DPS looks. I think this meta is not only the GOATS meta, right, the 3-3 triple tank, triple support meta, but it's also really about how well you can swap off of that composition or plug in certain heroes into that composition, like we've seen teams struggle to play against the Sombra, for example, and then we've also seen teams adjust to the Sombra. So I think it's really going to be about flexibility, and both the Defiant and the Shock have a lot of flexibility, especially with some of their DPS players and their support players. So I'm really curious to see how these 2 teams do in the playoffs.